Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The Grand Observer back with Lake of Voices Part 2. Since I only did part of it one the other day, so I'll continue with the next. So load. That was the newest one. They want him to mess up. I don't notice how tense I am until Bamela eases my grasp on his arm. Then suddenly the guy takes multiple long and fast strides forward, throws the lantern and jumps backwards to regain his lost distance. There's a sharp hiss and then a deep splash, and the voices of the Knicks grow quieter, not silent, but quieter. The side escapes me and the guard comes back to our group.
We should keep going before it comes back.
Our glance at Bamala and realize he, too, is looking relieved at the guide before us. Then I see it. The first prowler. It's still there. It's right there. I shift around, pulling Bamala behind me. The prowler lunges after it, barely missing Bamala, but striking my lantern instead. The fire goes out, and the two of us are plunged into unearthly darkness. Then there's a slick splash. Then I realize the Knicks retreated into the water. Somehow, Bamala and I are still standing. We're still here.
Kika, thank you.
I can't respond. Something cold and wet and slimy has grabbed my ankle. I kick my leg out as fast as I can and Nick's hold slips. They can't hold me with the momentum I've gained against it. Margaret brushes my side, her lantern hanging out towards the Knicks. The light brushes his face. We see it for an instant, its eyes wide, and then it slides back into the smooth surface of the water. Bamala grabs Margaret and I both, helping us toward the center of the bridge and cussing underneath his breath.
I only looked away for 1 second.
It's fine, Bamele. We're all fine.
Are you actually alright?
Margaret cocks her head down, examining my ankle, but there's nothing but a wet smudge around my trousers.
I am fine.
I say that, though I don't actually want to let go of Bamala. I need to, in order to relight our lantern and provide us actual safety, but I feel such a strong desire not to be alone in this moment. I shake my head roughly and let go of it, relighting the lantern as fast as I'm able.
Kika, thank you. Again. You saved my life. I won't let this happen again.
Yes. Yes. It would be good for all of us to pay more attention.
Margaret nods solemnly. Suddenly, it seems like we're all on the same side. It isn't only Bamala and I. She is with us in more than simply present. The guide's voice, as cold as that month's drag, ends my train of thought.
We lost the lantern I threw. The Knicks grabbed it after the light went out.
Margaret makes a noise. I glance over, wondering whether she's upset. But there's a small smile on her face instead.
It's better than them taking everything else.
The nervous laugh bubbles up out of me, and suddenly, and just as quickly stops. Bamala chuckles in response, and our collective tension eases up, the adrenaline draining from our bodies.
We need to keep walking.
The guide starts down the bridge again, and we join him. I try to clamp down on the relief, the ease that wants to flood my head. It's not over. The prowler is gone, but so is Bamala's lantern.
You can stay near me, Bamele, since your lantern is lost.
I appreciate it.
Margaret goes on ahead of us. Pamela stays by my side as I keep at the end of the line. The breath of release for Margaret and Pamela is quickly swallowed by some somber atmosphere of the Simlos as well, replaced by the gravity of a near-death experience. Never mind celebrating his survival. Something like that shouldn't have happened in the first place. The memory of the prowlers reaching out towards us repeated each time I close my eyes.
Why does it look like something's dripping down their faces?
The prowlers are on Margaret's mind too. Looking at her pained expression, it is as though the moment of relief never existed at all.
I'm not sure.
Me neither. Something's wrong with them, though. They live in water. Air shouldn't be good for the things, but they want to drown humans so much they're willing to drag themselves around on land? It's not right.
Of course it isn't. They are monsters. They likely do not even understand the concept of right and wrong.
Well, I don't disagree that there's something very wrong about them. I truly hope that's the last we'll see of the Prowlers.
Something comes to your mind, causing Margaret to end her part of the conversation earlier.
Since you two have to share a light, wouldn't it be safer to be in the middle?
Margaret stops and waits for Pamela, and I try to reach her position.
That way, you'll catch the edges of my light and the guides, and it won't be so dangerous if Bamele loses his position momentarily.
That's a very kind offer, Margaret.
Pamela's surprise is so apparent. I want to cover his face with my hands to stop him from insulting her. She merely smirks. I think Margaret may be surprised with herself, too. Pamela returns to his usual surety.
As thoughtful as it is, I, at least, am fine with bringing up the rear. I'm used to keeping watch for monsters, and since there are two of us, I can pay attention to the back while Kika focuses ahead. It's not my light, though, so I shouldn't be the one to decide what she should do with it.
Margaret and Pamela turn to look at me in unison. Seems like it's my decision. Neither of them are wrong. As for me, my goal is to protect everyone. I can't really do that with Margaret following behind us. But being stuck in the middle of the group could also be dangerous depending on what circumstances we come across. Hence, by the enemy would be an almost sure death, no matter how experienced Pamela and I are. I just don't know exactly what to expect from this bridge, and that makes things so much more difficult.
So you're staying behind?
Seems like it.
Yes, I think we'll be good here.
Let's see if not answering makes a good
But
choice.
really, thank you. That was a very kind offer.
Well, alright.
Margaret respects her decision and trots ahead for a bit to catch back with the guide, he who has paid no mind to the entire affair.
So, I don't want to sound like a child, but how much longer until we arrive at the halfway point?
Margaret chuckles, reflecting their amusement. I don't want to vocalize.
We still have some ways to go.
Damn.
I suppress my laughter yet again at his pouting response. The gloom we've been under dissipates slightly, like light flickering through the fog.
The first trial tends to be the most difficult. I believe we will only react better from this point on.
I like the way you think.
Then a gleam into Pamela's eyes, and he grins.
I think Kika deserves a round of applause. Her quick reflexes are owed the utmost appreciation.
He leans so softly onto my shoulder, trying to get me to... What?
It was indeed a sight. You're quite capable. Bemele was also a sight, but for very different reasons. The way he froze with his mouth all agape was a laugh in itself.
Pamela shakes a fist at at Margaret in mock anger, then shoots me an affectionate look.
You should know, she and I are usually on equal footing.
The only reason you had footing at all is because she pulled you back.
Bemala laughs self-consciously, scratching his head.
That's very true. You can always count on Kika.
I keep my eyes steadily ahead, unsure how I should respond. I am pleased, almost grateful to hear what they think of me, but I don't know what I could say. I don't know what I could say that wouldn't seem pathetic. Instead, I contribute the best way I can. I keep my focus on the path ahead of us. Without response from me, the conversation quickly dies out. Still, it eases my heart to be on such friendly terms with my companions. After some time, I notice Margaret isn't keeping up with the guide as much as she was before. I realize it's because the guide has increased his pace. Margaret begins to jog in an effort to keep up with him, and Bemala and I do the same. Despite this, the guide keeps getting further away. We go faster and faster until suddenly gone sprinting across the thick wooden boards. Figures in the dark fog pass by us in a blur. It occurs to me, the branching paths in this bridge appear to be sinking. I try hard to swallow my rising panic. The guide shouts something, but it is drowned out by the frantic pounding of our footsteps. I'm trying to piece together what he said. Don't stop, don't turn. When he takes a masterfully sharp right down a different path, using his own momentum and the sleek wood to slide into a new direction with no loss of speed. Margaret must not have worked out the warning either. She's completely caught off guard by the guide's change in course. She runs straight ahead, past the turn, and continues down the path we've been following up to now. She clumsily begins to halt her momentum down the wrong bridge. Then I come up around the floor. I keep straight ahead, not making an attempt to go the correct direction. Bemala seems to be fumbling slightly, but he stays close behind me. In the light, I inwardly apologize. I came upon Margaret, who nearly runs into me in efforts to turn around. Her face twists out of sight.
Why are you...
Ignore her and move to face the other way. The path we came from is disappearing into the water. It's sinking.
We have to jump.
What?
Margaret holds up her hands, but I grab her, spin her towards the path the guide is on.
Go!
But...
Go!
Bemele and I will have to jump together. He needs the light. Just move.
I practically shove her, and without further hesitation, she takes the leap. She makes it just past the edge of the bridge, knees buckling as she lands, but is soon back up on her feet and holding the lantern out towards me. She beams with pride. I gesture down to the bridge, through the guide's rapidly fading light. Margaret slowly nods and then runs after him.
Here.
I offer Bemala my hand, tightening my grip on my lantern. Bemala accepts the offer, offering giving it a brief squeeze. A tight, small plaster itself across my face as I try to calculate the distance between our bridge and the other. Then the ground starts to shake more.
Jump!
We dash to the bridge and leap. Cold air rushing past my face, winding its fingers into my hair. For an instant, I think I see something moving under the surface of the water. Then we land hard on the wooden bridge. Bemala lets out a sigh of relief as we both quickly get fully back on our feet.
Stay close. We need to run.
I'll be right behind you.
I take off, not bothering too sure Bemala is staying true to his word. I'll know we're followed. The guide's fading light bounces in the distance, a clear signal that he's still running. I focus everything I have on catching up. Slowly we begin to close the distance. As the night wears on, our strength rapidly fades. Even my stamina is being challenged. I can't imagine what this must be like for Margaret. She's holding her side as she runs, clearly cramping from the exercise. How much longer will this last? People have to rest sometime. Almost as if in response to my thought, the guide abruptly halts. I skid to a stop as well, sliding on the surface of the wood.
Why did we stop?
Bemila's voice is tired, but his guard is up. The guide doesn't answer. He just stares at something slightly out of view. I step up to join him, following his gaze further down the path. What the devil? There, caught into a little ball, illuminated by a lantern light, cowers a person. His hand grips his head, and he rocks from side to side, mumbling incoherently.
It's a man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't. I just couldn't. Please. I'm sorry.
I'm struck with a very question. What is going on? Why would he wander out onto these bridges on his own? Did he make it this far by himself? Was there others with him? If that's somehow the case, I can't blame him for the state of shock he's in. The man stops mumbling. He glances above him, seemingly only to just now having the strength to lift his head. His expression, the deepest sadness, along with the clear markings of terror, are scrawled up across his face. I stare at him in shock, not sure what to do.
Leave him.
I snap my eyes away from the man and instead to the guide's cold, implacable face.
No! We can't just leave him here! We've managed fine enough already, and these creatures will probably pluck him away as soon as we've gone. Without light, it's certain he'll die.
He won't make it regardless.
The guide turns to look at his eyes seemingly glow from the closeness of his lantern. For the first time I feel uncomfortable in his presence.
Whoever shelters him will only risk dragging themselves down with him. Leave him.
There's probably gonna be a choice for me. I don't want to leave him, but I'm probably gonna die if I do bring him. I glance at the others. Bemila is outraged, but Margaret is staring at the man with something like fear. She's uneasy, but she doesn't voice her concerns. I'm trying to think of some kind of compromise when the guide speaks again, his voice cutting.
If the man comes, then whoever is shielding him will have to remain at a distance from the rest of the group. Far enough that you can't see me, just my light. That is how you will travel across the bridges. I didn't agree to lead this man, and I won't. If you ask me to, I will leave you all behind.
Yeah. Adrenaline surges through my veins, and I tense up. It's a painful reminder that the guide isn't here to save our lives, but merely show us the way. We are not on. Margaret, Bemila, and I frantically share more looks between each other, trying to communicate without words. None of us have a desire to speak, to be the first to make a choice. The man is standing now, though he still hunched with his arms wrapped around himself, as expecting a blow. He stares at the ground rather than us. Because of this, I'm having trouble reading his face. What exactly happened to him?
Are you well, stranger? Do you know where you are and why you're here?
He glances up, not at me, but towards me. His eyes resting somewhere near my collarbone.
I'm fine. You all can go on your way. Forget you even saw me here.
This is your joke, bud. Okay, sounds good with me. Goodbye!
That's absurd. You have no way to defend yourself. We can't leave you.
Or can we?
Yes, I'm sure in your eyes I might not seem like much, but that's not exactly a fair shake. Maybe in a perfect world, every man would be as large as you. But that's not how things always go. It doesn't mean I'm defenseless.
The man's passing on to memory. The words themselves seem to be in good jest, but he's still barely looking at us, fidgeting with his hands. Bemila frowns unimpressed.
It was a joke.
He smiles hesitantly, making eye contact with each of us for the first time.
What part of it was supposed to be the joke? Do you even realize what is happening in this moment?
Never mind. Forget that too. Point is, I'm alright.
You were curled up in a ball when we met.
Exactly! Something must be wrong with you.
Oh no, sounds like you've been talking with my father.
He lets up a weak little laugh coupled with a eyebrow raised, voice trembling. No one really knows what to make of this. Then the man gives a small wave and begins down the path between. Bemala huffs, tossing his hands into the air.
That's not even the right way.
It could be, if he's trying to get to the side we came from.
He must have come quite a ways if it was the other shore that he started on.
The man smiles low.
Good. That's not so bad.
There is no response to this remark, unsure of what could be said.
I still think he should come with us. A person needs a light, and the guide himself said he won't be able to manage on his own. Sticking with us is his best option.
I look up at the man's body, noting the scrawniness of his limbs, scrawny but not necessarily lacking in muscle. The bravado he was showing as he tried to leave us had faded yet again, and now he's standing quietly, looking at us, if watching a play. Interest, but no true connection with the true event. To the event.
It's easy for you to say such things, but whose light are you offering? It's not mine, and you are putting her in even more danger with your own presence already.
Bemala looks at Margaret. She voices his gaze.
Perhaps I could have let him share my light. Before. But the guide has said the one with him has to remain behind, and I simply wouldn't be able to manage it.
Bemala hands into a fist. He looks away, but doesn't say anything for a moment. No one does. I feel a cold sweat on my brow, as what I feared comes to pass. He's stopping us from protecting another. Why must he get involved now? Why can he not leave us to make our own decisions?
You... Don't worry about me. I'll be on my way now.
The man's voice is full of something I cannot place. He starts to shuffle back down the way we came, arms still clenched around him. Margaret might not be able to take him, but there's no way this could be solved. No! I'll put Bemala and myself at significantly more risk. At least this man will stand a chance. I want to go through the story, but I got a feeling if I die this night, I won't get anywhere. Besides, I still have 10 more minutes of recording. Margaret and Bemala stare at the man as he leaves. We all watch him drag his little frame down the bridge, quickly fading from sight. We had to let him go. We've only barely been surviving so far. In space, the man vanished into dark and silent. We can see and hear nothing of him, not even his footsteps.
Maybe we should call him back? We can at least give him directions. Tell him what paths we've been taking.
It's not going to make any difference. We can't give directions when the bridges we were on might very well have sunken away.
We shouldn't focus on what might become of him. He has his own path to follow, and we ours. We should focus on what we're doing now.
Exceedingly. Of course, it's not a really might, but we have to get through this somehow, and being weighed down with guilt will only distract us. The guide starts moving again at a quick pace. After a moment's hesitation and one last glance into truly lifeless fog, we run to catch up to him. We walk onwards in silence. Our party hasn't changed. The stranger was never added to it, so it's not as if it makes sense to miss him. There's a sense of loss all the same. No one attempts to rest. I keep thinking, I should have done more, should have pushed the guide harder to change his mind. So it was less dangerous to keep the man around. Something, anything. But I had to let this go. I'm not going to forget that man. I'll never forget him. But we still need to get through this. I curl my hands into fists, hoping it has strengthened my resolve. Then I push forward. We turned down a different path, and the guard stopped. Ah! No! Ahead of us stands a group of brawlers. At the sound of us, they turned their heads in unison as if they knew we were coming. I inhale.
Not again.
Son of a stinking creatures! The prowlers wiggle. Somehow their skin moving more slowly than it should, sliding across the skeleton. They laugh.
We already lost a lantern and it's only our first day. We can't keep doing this.
Ah.
Yes, we can't lose a lantern at this point. We're almost to the island.
The guy rummages through his coat with his free hand.
What are you planning?
Bemela's tone is borderline threatening, but the guide ignores him. He pulls out a smudge, up out, and then opens the latch on his lantern.
Wait, are you going to throw that at them? What if the bridge sets on fire?
It will. We're going to run.
This is insane! These bridges are hellish enough without them also being on fire. And what about the other man? If he's still out there, this could...
He's dead. We're not losing another lantern.
He says it with such detached certainty. It's as if he saw it happen himself. No one argues with him. The guide steps closer to the prowler. We fall into step behind him, staying close to his back. He bends his lantern back down until it is lowered to his outstretched arm. Then the pouch in his hand is set aflame. With a practiced flick of the wrist, he swings the staff back up, and the glass on the lantern snaps closed.
Don't get left behind.
He takes 3 quick steps and tosses the pouch. The paddles are back in the water before the pouch even lands. As soon as it does, the fire starts to lick and curl itself around the wood. The guide breaks into a sprint, and so do the rest of us. The blaze grows despite the heavy dampness from the lake. These bridges aren't normal bridges. Of course, that's true. Nothing here is right. Hopefully they won't collapse with the flames. We stay on the guide's heels, almost too close for comfort. If he stops abruptly, we'll all crash into another, maybe even fall off the bridge. Then the world tilts. I was mid-stride when I put my foot down. The bridge isn't where it was. It lurches to one side, either because it was weakened or pushed. Bemela and I managed to keep our ground, but Margaret falls to dread. At least I thought that's what would happen. She starts pawing at the bridge. My glasses fell off, I can't see. The guide, having regained his balance, presses on. He doesn't even bother to look at that. Bemela and I run to Margaret, scanning the bridge, but there's no sign of her glasses. The flames are growing thicker and closer, their heat life-sucking, close enough to nip at her heels. I grab Margaret's arm.
Your glasses aren't here anymore. We have to go or we'll lose the guide.
Margaret squints up at me, face paler than ever. She nods and stands, and we start after the guide again. As a storm of feet thunder across the boards, a silver sliver begins to rise into view, just above the edge of the water.
It's the island.
The island? I squint and suddenly make out craggy forms of land and earth. I see it! We're almost there! Safely at long last in sight. New energy surges through me. We push ourselves faster, longing to put these god-forsaken bridges behind our backs. All at once the bridges end, and our entire group rushes ashore. Earth, solid earth, a heaven from the water. I catch my breath, while still moving even further from the dark shoreline. I can't believe we actually made it. Even more difficult is the idea that we're only halfway done. When night falls once more, we have to do it all again. A heavy arm falls across my shoulders, and I straighten to see Bemala smiling wearily at me.
Good work out there.
It's not unusual, it's not the unusual combination of a good job well done. There's sadness, perhaps even sympathy in the sentence. It ends flatly. Usually, Bemala's comfort and good nature gives me at least the urge to smile, but right now it feels like a hollow victory. He moves to face Margaret, who is squinting at the surrounding area.
Good work out there.
The statement is more energetic. He's not willing enough to show a lack of confidence from her. Margaret smiles slightly.
How are you doing without your glasses?
Oh, I'll manage. I have to, after all. I'm not completely blind, thankfully, so I can muddle my way through.
There isn't anything much to see out on those bridges. As long as you stay away from the edge, you should be as safe as you were before.
That's true. It will be fine.
And then the guide is there. He moves so smoothly that his steps on the soft sand was so nearly silent, and his dusky clothes blend in with the thinning of the night.
The sun will rise soon. The fire on the bridge is the only reason this island isn't overrun with prowlers right now. However, they could still pose a threat.
Is that why you decided to set the bridges on fire? To make the island safer?
The guide looks at Margaret for what I suddenly realize might be the only second or third time all night.
Setting the bridges alight isn't an uncommon strategy. It has many uses.
He walks away, Margaret frowning at his retreating form. The guide takes us to an area a bit further inland, but not too far from the water. Trees partially obscure our location, and there's enough room to watch the coast in case prowlers start to emerge from the water. Essentially, it's a place where an ambush would be hard.
If any of you see anything at all, speak up. We don't want them to sneak up on us.
Almost automatically, each member of the group turns to a different direction. For a brief second, I feel a flick of pride. This night may have been awash with misery, but we're still here for each other. Funny! I made it halfway last episode, and now I made it halfway the story with this episode. So I'm going to save it here and end it right now, because I think we did good, and the Grand Observer is our fun of the day. If you like this story, it's getting more and more dicey since that last part. Though I am kind of disappointed, sad that I didn't let the other guy come along. Judging from what just happened, that was a good thing. But the Grand Observer is out for another episode. Thank you for listening to this story, and see you at the next episode.